What is going on, everybody? It is Wristlock MMA, and I'm bringing you my best bets for UFC 316. I'm going to give you five of them, I believe. For the first bet, we got Joshua Van by decision. Van's taking on Bruno Silva in a flyweight matchup. Joshua Van's won 3 straight fights by decision. He's got really crisp boxing. Bruno Silva's coming off a TKO loss against Manel Kape. Kind of just was giving up on the fence, and the ref called it. But I think he's tougher than that, and I think he knows that. And I think it's going to be a pretty good fight. I think a lot of people, I don't think Joshua Van should be as big as a favorite as he is. I think it'll be a little closer than the odds suggest. But I still see Joshua Van getting it done via decision, probably 29-28, probably loses either the second or third round and then finishes strong. And for bet number 2, we got a plus money parlay with Vicente Luque by decision or sub. And then we got Patchy Mix by decision or sub. That one's sitting at plus 566. $50 turns into $333. So that's a little bit of a plus money one. The Patchy Mix one, he's taking on Mario Batista, and it's Patchy Mix's first fight in the UFC. He's been a champion in Bellator for a bit, and he's got a really good wrestling background and good chokes, but not the greatest striking. But Mario Batista is not the most technical striker, and I don't think it will matter too much in this one. And I think he probably wins a close decision, but I do think if it is a finish, it probably comes by a guillotine or a rear naked choke by Patchy Mix. Going into our underdog of the week, we got Waldo Cortez Acosta. He's taking on Sergey Spivak, which I believe is going to be a decent heavyweight fight. Probably not too exciting, but I think Waldo's going to be able to manage distance and not get taken down. And I think if he doesn't get taken down, I don't really see a way where Spivak wins this fight. He's not the best striker. When he wins fights, he takes people down and gets a submission or the ground and pound. But if you can stuff the takedown, there's not really a path of victory for Spivak. So I'm really hoping Cortez is able to stuff the takedowns, keep it on the feet, move around. He's got good footwork. He's got a good jab for a heavyweight. And I think if he does that, Spivak's probably just going to eat it and it's going to go to a decision. And that's why I think also Cortez Acosta by decision at plus 600. Juicy. That could be worth a shot. Just for a single shot, that's good money right there. I mean, he's got multiple decision wins for heavyweight, and Spivak's tough. Not the toughest. He's gotten finished by Almeida in his last fight, and we've seen him crumple up and quit on himself before. But I think Waldo's not the biggest finisher ever, so I think that decision at plus 600, there could be value there for sure. Going into our next one, we got like a round prop parlay. It's going to be Joshua Van and Bruno Silva to reach round 2, and then Chaos Williams and Andreas Gustafsson not to go to decision. So that fight can't reach decision. And then in the Bruno Silva-Joshua Van fight, that fight has to go to round 3. Just need round 3 to start. And I think either way it goes, I think if Silva wins or if Joshua Van wins, it will at least get to round 3. I don't think a finish would happen at least until that third round. And then in the Gustafsson versus Chaos fight, both of those guys are serious finishers. Chaos has been a decent amount of decisions, but I don't think Gustafsson's going to want to play that game. I think he's going to go in there, and he's got a really brawling style. So I think one of those two is probably going to get TKO'd or KO'd in the second or third round, possibly first, but I think a TKO is very likely in that fight. I just can't decide which way it's going to go. So Chaos Gustafsson minus 240, Van Silva to reach round 3 minus 200, gets you to about plus 100 on the round parlay. Nothing crazy odds-wise, but I think it's pretty safe. Lastly, I want to mention the UFC ladder challenge I'm doing for the month of June. There's 4 cards in the month of June, starting with UFC 316. Then it goes to UFC Atlanta, UFC Bacau, Roundtree versus Hill, and then we finish it off with UFC International Fight Week. So with this ladder play, we're going to try to turn $100 into $2,500. It sounds like a pretty hard thing to do, but we just got to hit 4 straight bets. 4 straight parlays. They're not going to be straights. They're going to be parlays, but we're kind of going to try to find stuff that I really like. For this week's one, for the first leg of the ladder, it's going to be, we're going to start with 100, and we're going to try to get to 250 this week. And here's going to be the bet. Markel Medeiros money line, Joe Pyfer money line, and then the fight to go to round 2 in the Sergey Spivak versus Waldo fight. So we just need that fight to go to round 2. I was debating on doing some Joe Pyfer and the fight to go over round 1, just mixed with Markel, but I didn't want to risk it. Joe Pyfer's got heavy hands, and even though Kelvin's never been finished, I can see a submission or even just like a right hook into a submission, or maybe he's going to be the first one to find that chin of Gaslam. So I just kind of got worried about that, so I chose to go straight money line on Joe Pyfer and Markel Medeiros, and then you got the fight to reach round 2 in the Waldo Acosta versus Sergey Spivak. So that's going to be the first first leg of like the ladder to get us from $100 to $2,500. So I'll put up on the screen so you guys can see the plan. But this is just the first week, so hopefully by the end of the month, if you do it with me, $100, $2,500, and if we lose this week, I guess we'll have to start at $250 next week to reach it. But hopefully that doesn't have to happen and we cash easy. So if you like this content, please comment, like, subscribe. This is the first video I've dropped doing anything like this, so I plan on doing a lot more. I'm going to drop a video for the APFC, which is Anthony Pettis' promotion for my friend Dante's fights, and Brennan. I got it already saved. It's going to drop in the next couple days, so I just wanted to get this out there. And these are my bets for UFC 316. Thank you.